Look upon my shame. Not a shame that I have it, just a shame that it's being stored like this. After months of my fabric collection being heaped on the guest bed and then neatly stacked on the guest room floor, week after week passing by as I continued to say, I'll totally get to my fabric closet before family comes to visit and needs this room. Yeah, it didn't happen. I shoved it all in the closet. It's a mess. But no more. The procrastination ends today. Sort of. Not really. I can't really start today. It's sort of like the soft launch of a project. Here's what we're working with. From one closet to another. I've got this lovely, rather big closet in my studio, and it's got all this space off to the side here that's unutilized. I mean, all of it is unutilized right now. That is what we're aiming to change. Fabric needs shelves. There are many other ways to store it, but I like it folded on shelves, or occasionally crammed in a bag, or tossed in a basket. Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Sorry. I do also have these large rolls of fabric that I got for such a delightful deal from Remainders once upon a time, and I could theoretically unroll them and fold up all the fabric, but that's no fun. Luckily, I have not one closet, but two! Insanity! What's in there? Oh, more fabric. I totally forgot about that batch. This one I'm going to leave unshelved so that I can stand my rolls up in the corner, and then also I can possibly use it to store like costumes and ball gowns that don't need to be in my regular clothing closet. I don't know. I want to make this one pretty and like matchy with the other closet, but it doesn't feel like it needs really any renovation to it, or building, I guess. Theoretically, I can do this all myself. I've got the power tools, I've got the paintbrushes, I've got the muscles of a prepubescent chess champion, but also I'll probably wrangle Matt into helping me, because if you saw my last renovation I did on this room, well, it ended up taking 6 weeks. That is not, we can't, no. Let's start at the very beginning. Step 1. The planning. You'll also know if you saw my previous renovations on this room that my favorite tool for planning out my overhauls is Milanote. What luck that they're the sponsor of today's video, right? Frequent viewers may recall that when we first got this house, I was very overwhelmed by the numerous spaces that could be overhauled and the even more numerous ideas I have for possible overhauling. I was so relieved when Milanote reached out at the start of my home renovation journey because it's a tool for organizing your creative projects. Just what I needed. My studio board was a great place to gather all the inspiration for that room, and now it's time to make a new subboard for the closets. Milanote offers a bunch of customizable templates for projects of all kinds, so it's really easy to just dive right in. I adore a bit of hidden color, so what better place than the closet for a surprise rainbow? I can use the color samples with the eyedropper function to select my favorite shades from the inspiration palettes I found and then mix them together into the perfect rainbow for me. I also needed to find some info on how to build shelves, specifically the L-shaped shelves I'm hoping for here, which have that tricky corner to support. The Milanote web clipper lets me easily save articles, products, and tutorials straight to my board without even having to leave the page. When you've got a project that seems overwhelming, maybe you just keep putting it off and off and off, starting out with a Milanote board can be a great way to gather your thoughts, get them out of your head, and organize them into a manageable, visible bit of inspiration. All your links, images, notes, and to-do lists are right there in the same place, and you can even share your board with a collaborator, a friend taking on the same project, co-workers on a job, a partner you've wrangled into helping you. And you know my favorite thing about Milanote? It's available for free with no time limit, so creative organization is right there at your fingertips. Sign up for free with the link in my description and start organizing that tornado of creativity. Big thanks to Milanote for sponsoring this video, and what's step 2? Measuring. The next step is measuring, because I don't really know what I need right now. My to-buy list is kind of like theoretical. Ow! I want to use the existing shelf in here. Come closer. This existing shelf, I'm gonna take this out because I don't need a pole in here, but these boards are already on the wall. That's great. And I'm gonna do this exact same thing to mount all of the other shelves. So what I need to know is how many shelves I can get in here. I can definitely do one above this. So that's 1 shelf, 2 shelves, 15 to 16 inches apart. What's my total? I forgot part of this is going to be ripping out these baseboards and putting in my matching ones. Not the baseboards. I'm still scarred from the baseboards. 65.5 inches. So I could get 6 shelves in here. 1 above, 4 more below. Okay, 6 shelves, which means 5 paint colors or 7. Ooh, my brain doesn't like that problem. 7, great. So if I have 6 shelves, then I have 7 stripes, because what I want to do is a different color of paint between each one of the shelves, and then I want to stain the shelves the same color as like all of my trim and furniture in here, so that darker brown. That is more colors than I anticipated, but that's okay. I don't like that this is not an exact number. I should use centimeters. 23 by 17 by 5 plus 43 inches. This should be the same, right? How is it not the same? Wow, that means this wall is an entire inch off. Good grief. Whatever that is, I need 153 inches of it for every single shelf. That sounds like a lot. No, times 5, because that's already there. But that's theoretically all I need for this is support, shelves, paint. Oh, the corner support. I found a bunch of different ways to support an L-shaped floating shelf. All of them seemed hard. I don't mind going the easy way, and the easy way in my brain is just to put a support rod in the corner all the way through. So I'm assuming I can get one of like the square dowel rods that's, you know, kind of thick, not like a tiny little dowel rod. Cut it into the proper, you know, 16 inches or whatever it is, and slide that between each shelf right in that corner. Secure it properly. It's supporting the corner, and that feels doable for me with the tools that I have and the time that I have and the willingness to learn new things that I have. So that's the plan. For the other one, I'm just going to use the same paints that I used in here. Okay, so step 2, I think it's done. We can go buy supplies, but probably tomorrow because I have stuff to do today, so. Oh, and I'm totally saving my little drunken octopus hooks on here, because more hooks are always better. Supplies procured, that's a lot of wood. Matt and I got started by ripping out the baseboards and the unneeded shelf from the closets. Hey, could I use this? I would need more. But this is basically what I could use to do the shelf supports. Yeah, go for it.
It's gonna be loud.
Okay, close the door on yourself so you can be loud.
What?
In there by yourself.
No, that's not the point.
Bang it! Puppy, should I cover your ears? Bang it! Oh God! Come here, I'll cover your ears.
Oh God, that was loud.
Puppy, you're making a little mess.
You're gonna paint this wall, right?
Yeah, I'm painting the whole thing. Just one second. There you go. Nailed it!
We unnailed it.
That's accurate.
Huh?
I forgot the hammer doesn't work. What did I do last time? I think I just struggled.
Ooh, watch out.
Good Lord.
Sorry.
Can you not murder me?
I'll do my best.
Munch, 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 munch. Munch. Ooh, deep bites. He's doing the thing. He's held the sock with both paws.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's probably in Florida.
It echoes so pleasantly in here. Can you come do this one?
Yeah. There it is.
Good job. The next morning, I was able to stain all the sheets of wood that will become the shelves, and immediately had to move outside for more airflow and change into as little clothing as possible, cause y'all, it's hot, even at 8 a.m. I always forget how unfortunately warm those coveralls are. I think I just rubbed my own sweat into this. At least I had my Disney playlist to keep me going. Honey, Hercules. Once those had dried, hello, and warped a little bit because I left them in the sun. Whoops. We started measuring, cutting, and hanging the beams that will support the shelves.
Good.
Calm down.
5, 6, 7.
This was delightfully easy, especially with the two of us. 41 1/4.
Uh-oh.
I've gotten quite comfortable with the jigsaw, but I still heavily dislike the drill for some reason.
Screw it up.
So we got into a rhythm of me measuring and cutting, and Matt, screwing.
I can't wait to not be up here anymore.
Well, it's almost over. 2 notches from 42.
Okay.
I don't want to think about 16ths.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Your guys' measurements don't make any
I
sense anyway.
Come do the thing.
Yeah, I will do the thing.
Great. This is definitely going well. One more day until the dawn. Do I follow where she goes? It was only by the time we were halfway through that I realized my calculations for the shelving are incorrect.
Which one am I gonna do with this?
Come on in. Don't squeeze. I'm bad at math. This channel has documented that fact quite well. And yeah, I think I was counting the floor as a shelf, but not realizing that I was doing that.
Watch out.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi, booby. Whatever it was, there is only space for 5 shelves. 5 shelves, 6 spaces between the shelves. Say goodbye to one of the paint colors. Oh my god, your hand feels like a freaking flame.
Yeah.
Hi, small boy. You gonna join the party in the closet? One more!
This is gonna look so nice.
I know. Don't start looking close at it.
Okay. The crooked cut was here, so.
How dare you insult my cut?
It's the last one!
Yeah, only I think I'm gonna see if I can put one in there.
Baby.
Having accepted my new 5-shelf life, we moved on to cutting said shelves down to size. Ugh, did we go too big? I wanted to do this before painting because I anticipated much scraping of wood against walls as we tried to fit each one as perfectly as possible. Oh boy, did I anticipate right. Can you go sand this?
Yeah.
This was a bit of a process, but again, not a difficult one, just a lot of back and forth to measure, cut, check the fit, sand a bit, fit again, label, etc. Because I miscalculated, I now have some extra supplies, so I decided to knock the old shelf out of the second closet and replace it with the new stained wood. Be perfect for me. As well as add a second shelf up above it. Between 2 studs. Sounds like the name of a TV show.
Go cut things!
Cutting things. I'm actually really happy this worked out, because I think it'll look so nice having both closets totally matching in style. Painting time! First, I had to clean all the walls, always a blast. Then tape stuff off, cover the floors, you know, all that delightful prep work that we so enjoy. Ugh, I'm so sweaty already. I could do the same rainbow, but like emanating out of the side. Do I have string? Of course I do. I wanted to figure out a plan for the second closet before I started, and yeah, I'm still bad at math. No, that's wrong. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 more lines. Why does everything become about math? I love it when stuff works. Purple, pink, orange. Fuck. Why am I so bad at math? I counted the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, you only drew 3. So it's 42 divided by 5 because there's 4 lines but 5 spaces. I'm really happy with the final idea though, an actual curved rainbow shape to match the rainbow colors. I need to not do math anymore. And the whole pencil on a string to draw a curve thing worked quite well. At last, I could break out the bright rainbow colors and get painting. It was a 2-day process with lots of layers for certain colors, looking at you yellow, and also surprisingly orange, and much more taping off the second day after being very lackadaisical on the first set of stripes. Also thought I'd give the coveralls another go since I'm indoors in the AC, but dang y'all, they are warm. I gotta remake these in a much lighter, more breathable fabric. And then, with only one blister on my finger and one spot of paint on my carpet, 'twas done! The next step was adding in new baseboards to match those in the room. Luckily, I had one long piece left over, but oh my goodness, these little areas are way more footage than you'd expect. Next!
One is done.
We ended up having to go out and buy another 16 feet of baseboard to line both closets. Now with all those shelves pre-cut and labeled, we could just chunk them in there one by one, nail them down, and add the little support for the corner as we went. We did make all of these quite tight. The final touches, other than me actually touching up the paint, because yes, we did still scrape it a bit getting those shelves in, was putting my drunk octopi hooks back in, adding the towel hanger turned into a fabric hanger on the back of my big closet door, and then adding some leaf hooks that I got but didn't use for the room on the back of the smaller door. Y'all, this entire thing was so much faster than I expected. I mean, 1, it's 2 closets instead of an entire room. 2, I have some experience now, and 3, I did have a second person to help me with a lot of it. But on top of all of that, I listed out all of the steps that I needed to do like I would normally do for any project. But instead of just starting in the morning expecting to get as many steps done as possible in that workday, I broke up the whole process and assigned only limited number of steps to each day. So just rip out the existing stuff today, just stain the boards today, just paint half the stripes today. And then when anything took longer than I expected it to, it still didn't extend past a normal work day. I wasn't having to stay up late or keep doing it the next day. But when stuff was faster than I expected it to be, I just had extra time in the day to go get other stuff done. Like editing. Many, many huzzas. Also, I freaking love it. I'm a little sad that so much of this lovely color is going to be covered up now that I'm going to fill these closets to the brim. But also it's like a little bit of happiness for me just knowing that it's there. Yeah. And speaking of filling it up, shall we? Let's start with the little one. Random piece of whiteboard. Cabbage bags can go in here. Say goodbye to the rainbow. Okay. Fabric is in. Always good to have stuffing on hand. Bag of bags. All right, so that'll do for the small one. There's plenty of more space in here to put more stuff, and potentially I have more stuff to put in here. It's a little hard to tell right now because my office is still basically like a gutted room with one shelf in it. But this got all of the stuff that has been sitting in our living room since January out of the living room, which I'm sure Matt will be thrilled about. Actually, he probably won't care. I don't think he even realizes it was there. Now it's on to the fun stuff. The fabric. Let's dump it all on the floor. Yay! This looks like a lot of fabric, and you know why? Because it is a lot of fabric. Sometimes I get those comments we've all seen, someone feeling high and mighty and judgmental because I have so much material, as though that's not like the basis of my job or something. I will say there was one person who commented the age-old, "What are you gonna do with all that?" And then came back a while later to edit the comment with, "Sorry, I just watched some of your other videos, so I totally see what you're gonna do with all that fabric now." We love that. Way to grow. Also though, this is an absolutely no stash shaming zone, and sewing doesn't have to be any form of job for you to justify having a great collection of fabric. Extra special kudos if you've thrifted the bulk of your collection. Yay!
Oh, come to me, coffee, but carefully. So carefully.
It's been a while since I fully organized my fabric collection like this, so here's how I get started with a rather overwhelming pile. First, I pulled materials that I don't have a lot of. Tulle, felt, muslin, which I tend to pair with cheesecloth and burlap and stuff like that. Then I separated the materials that I have designated for projects that are coming up, and I set those aside, releasing a few of them back into the pile because life has changed and those projects have been retired. I also want to keep the stack of sheets I got from my bedsheet exploration separate, just so that I know when looking at them, hey, those are sheets. I have a pile of material I got at Goodwill back in the day that I consider to be mock-up material. It doesn't get used much because I never make mock-ups. And then I also have a stack of curtains I made for our last house that, again, I just want to know when I look at them, hey, that's a curtain, not a regular stretch of fabric. These stacks can go up on higher shelves because I'm not reaching for them as often, and I'm gonna leave a space up on that very top one so that if I have room, I can fold up all of my recycle makes, the ones I decided aren't worth upcycling in my sewing journey video, and add them up there to be reused as material in the future. The floor shelf is gonna be for baskets. This one, which was gifted to me by Jennifer Garner, no further explanation, has all my medium woven cabbage in it. I'm also hoping to fit these two, which will store my larger scraps, one for woven, one for stretch, but
Perfect fit.
yeah, okay, I made them all fit. Now we get to the meat of the pile. Everything else. I organize my fabrics by material type, sort of. I have such a wide range that I find this is the best way to know where to look when I'm making something new.
Yeah, whoa. You're so nice. The prince is good at climbing and braiding golden hair.
I want all my stretchy stuff on one shelf, and I can separate these further sort of by the amount of material I have, but also a little like solid versus prints. Lace can also be grouped together, both stretchy and woven, since I have a ton of that now thanks to a grand remainders haul.
Why do I have so much lace?
The rest is woven material, but there's heavy stuff, there's light cottons, there's sheer, there's specialty. It all gets grouped in ways that make sense to me and fit in the existing space. I put all of my white material together along with other possible lining materials, black, navy, brown. I try to put all the sheer stuff in one pile, the sparkly stuff together, big chunks of solid colors in a stack, you know, mostly make sure I can see everything. And that's it, kiddos. It all fit, with just a little bit of room to spare. I even got my recycle clothes up on top. Well, there's nothing quite like organizing all of your fabric to make you desperately want to sew. Whew, this makes me very happy. It's so neat and organized, even if it's only organized by my standards, because like, I think putting it in color order or something would be more like aesthetically pleasing for some people, but it definitely is in here in a way that my brain recognizes and knows that like, if I'm looking for this specific thing, I need to look here. And that's what's most important, is that you organize things the easiest way for you, your brain, your workflow, your type of projects, to be able to find it and use it. I'm sweaty though. That was a lot of up and down and folding. I also took this opportunity to do my first fabric collection purge. When I first found remainders and was so gleeful to find some affordable fabric, my fabric collection was basically nothing. It was very small. So back then I would kind of grab anything that I liked the color or the pattern or was just like a decently big chunk of fabric. And now going through it, there's a lot of pieces that I'm like, I'm never gonna use this, mostly due to texture. I've gotten way more aware in the last several years of my preferences for texture of fabric. So I was able to pull aside basically an entire black trash bag worth of fabric that I'm just like, logically, I don't think I'm gonna use that. I got it in a moment of yay fabric, but it's not really right for me, so it will all go back to remainders to be donated so that somebody else who is not that picky about texture or has different sensory preferences than I do can use it. Anyway though, I am so pleased to finally have this project off the list. I've been meaning to do it literally for months. That being said, no more home renovations in the summer. It is so hot. Doing this room in, what was it, March? I could have all of the windows open, so, you know, paint fumes could go out, everything was getting nice and breezy, the airflow was great, and I didn't sweat the second that I started working. Yeah, it's gross here in the summer. So, next home renovation will be when the weather gets better. But I am very glad that I got this one done. It is such a pleasure to have everything in its place and a place for everything. Oh, there's the AC. That's my cue to go. Bye! So much whiny, cryy. Why you do the whinies? But no more, the procrastinate. That drips. And by drips, I do not mean actual drips. Ugh, why? Don't expect me to play fair.
But is this the bottom?
What?
Is this the bottom?
Yeah, that was wet.
And I'm painting it, so ow!
Ow! How do I trip over things backwards?
He's such a tall, dark, strong, and handsome brute.